Welcome to J House Podcast Radio. Happy what is today's day? This week is absolutely flown by. I believe it is Wednesday. Happy Wednesday, peeps. We're about to get into November, that much closer to 2025. So I hope all of you are doing well. Hope everyone is doing good. And I hope my mic is not echoing. But anyways, today we have a new look at what Marvel is going to be bringing to the slate in every category: TV, movies, the whole nine, going forward. Now, of course, these past few, I would say maybe year or two, I haven't really been hot on a lot of what they've been doing, mainly because of She Hulk, which I did not enjoy, mainly because, the What If show was pretty great, and then there was just a whole bunch of stuff going on with the multiverse phase, which we're sort of now getting into the latter end of, and we just got the best movie out of that, which was Deadpool and Wolverine, which is now opening up this doorway to do more with the multiverse and what's to come, introducing the mutants. That door is wide open. That door was opened in Captain Marvel as well, the Marvels. So there's just a lot going on. I didn't watch Agatha All Along. I haven't watched Agatha All Along. If you enjoy that show, then great for you. I'm glad that y'all are enjoying it. It's not my cup of tea. I didn't feel like that was a necessary show, especially after WandaVision, which pretty much told a story that it needed to. And so I just had no interest in watching that show whatsoever. Loki was a great highlight. I think a lot of people love Tom Hiddleston. That goes without saying. And Loki was a pretty great show, probably one of the best that the MCU has put out since they started doing these. So, with that being said, everyone knows that Marvel's a lot of Marvel's best characters are really their street level characters. And you're talking about the likes of Iron Fist, and why did I say Liu Kang? I was thinking about Mortal Kombat. Got Iron Fist, Luke Cage, and then you get to the big dogs. You talk about the Punisher, you talk about Daredevil, and especially for me, Punisher is someone who I grew up on. I love the Punisher. Ever since I watched the first Thomas Jane film, I immediately fell in love with the comics. Garth Ennis's run, of course, goes without saying. And so I've always been a big fan of the Punisher, and that's been one of my favorite characters since I became a Marvel fan. So lately in the comics, they haven't really treated him with all that much respect because they just don't like what he stands for. Apparently, that's all political. They don't like the fact that the military and that the policemen that and that the police of the world have taken to the Punisher as a symbol of justice, which is great to me, but to people who are unhinged lunatics, they don't like it. And so the last Punisher storyline I read was absolute doo doo, and they totally yeah they have no interest in caring for the Punisher in the comics, but in live action, that is a different story. He's been well taken care of in live action, whether it be Thomas Jane's iconic 2004 film, whether it be Ray Stevenson, may he rest in peace, or John Bernthal, who now carries the title of the Punisher and Frank Castle, and his show, which was amazing, and his debut in the first Daredevil Netflix series that was out on Netflix. Man, that opened up the door for so many fans to enjoy these characters that they've been waiting on forever. Daredevil goes without saying one of the greatest superhero TV shows ever made. And so people have been waiting. I've been waiting to see what would happen since Daredevil left Netflix, since Punisher left Netflix, to see what they would do. And so it's been 6 years, and because of fan petition and because there's just simply no way you move forward with the MCU without having two of its most successful characters in its history appear. is absolutely crazy. And so John Bernthal and Charlie Cox are back in their respective roles. Will Fisk is back as well, played by the brilliant, brilliant. I keep saying his name. I think it's Vincent. I love Vincent. I think Vincent's his name. Vincent D'Onofrio. Exactly. I knew that. I was just making sure you guys knew that. Vincent D'Onofrio is back when I was a boy. Mother. I think everybody's waiting for him to say that, but yeah, pretty much going to be a great reunion. But without further ado, let's have a look at what we're going to be dealing with here as we move forward into 2025.
I brought you here to offer you an opportunity.
Oh, I smell what you're stepping in. It's gonna get good.
It's been some time, hasn't it? You've come up in the world.
I could say the same about you.
I wonder if your darker half would agree. Exactly what kind of a lawyer are you? A really good one.
Now that's gonna be insane. People are absolutely waiting to see Charlie Cox again in action, and it looks bloody phenomenal. The action looks great. The way they've staged it is great. The costume is great. People are waiting on this. Now, this was rumored too as well. Your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, since X-Men '97 kicked off the success with Marvel Animation, taking it to the next level. Of course, I mean, What If and Zombies is great too, but really X-Men '97 took the cake. So there's already a petition going for the original Spider-Man series to be renewed as well. And so hopefully they do that. But they already announced and have been working on Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man for quite some time. And let's see what we got.
Miss me.
Oh!
Now I'm not gonna say I'm iffy on the animation style because I got nothing but love and respect for the animators, and animation is one of those things that's just so tedious and it takes a lot of dedication. So I'm never going to come out and automatically say that, like a lot of people do, oh, I don't like this art style. I don't think it fits, blah blah blah. I'm not going to say that because I was skeptical about the X-Men '97 animation style, and I ended up loving it. And I'm like, I couldn't imagine it being any other way. So I'm going to reserve my judgment until we actually see experience the story of Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, in which I think it should turn out great. Now, Ironheart. This is one that I've had a little bit to say on because since reading that the Riri Williams run of Iron Man, the Invincible Iron Man, or now Ironheart, I did like the way they introduced her into the MCU in Wakanda Forever. I thought Wakanda Forever was a pretty great film. I enjoyed it. Um, not to be nitpicky, not trying to be nitpicky. I don't want to be nitpicky. But the way they did her intro story in the comics was pretty cool, and to the point where they had her sort of, you know, become the pupil of Iron Man, or sort of take on that legacy that Tony wanted to leave behind through his tech, and she was already smart too, so she sort of grew into her own with it as well. And so I think that that was a great origin story, and plus Robert Downey Jr. is coming back as Iron Man. So if I had my guess is that they're going to take it in a direction of, this story is not going to have Tony Stark in it. It's just not. But at the same time, my only real complaint about Wakanda Forever was that there was no mention of Iron Man when Riri Williams popped up, because that's sort of who she gets her whole moniker from. That's sort of who she gets her whole thing from, and that's Iron Man. She really is Iron Man's successor. She's the one taking on his his legacy. You know what I'm saying? She's not called Ironheart because Riri just thought it was a great idea. She's called Ironheart because she is associated with Iron Man, Iron Man was the one who passed the legacy to her or that she found. And I just don't think that it would be right to have a story like this without mentioning him. You know what I'm saying? And that would get people more excited to see her character too. It's always going to be that way. But my guess is that they're not going to do that. They're going to play the super independent. I can do it all by myself. I don't need a dead rich white man to tell me that I'm smart or tell me that I can be a hero or teach me anything either. So I don't think they're gonna go that direction. But I'm sort of iffy on Ironheart.
I want to build something undeniable.
Anyone who's ever accomplished anything iconic in life.
And it looks good. It looks actually freaking good. And the actress that plays Riri Williams is great too. She is absolutely amazing too.
Do some questionable things to get it done.
For an adventure? The battle they
Of course, What If is coming back. Super excited about that.
will sing about for ages.
Now I haven't watched the first Marvel Zombie series yet, but I need to catch up. I need to rewatch What If as well. Now this next one, Wonder Man. See, you can only dig so deep in that Marvel roster. I feel like to the point where you just start getting the characters where a lot of people don't know about them unless you read the comics, unless you're a hardcore comic fan. I've never read about Wonder Man before. He's never been that big of a character that I've seen, but I will research him now. And maybe this might be a good opportunity to bring a lot of attention to a lesser known character. So maybe, you know what I'm saying? Maybe. But let's see. Let's see what we got.
You can slate whenever you're ready.
Simon Williams, reading for Wonder Man.
I was born to play this character.
And we both have a lot of
Oh, there's Mandarin. He's still there.
on this.
You better not mess this up. I know.
I am ready.
Eyes of Wakanda is going to be one that a lot of people are looking out for because people have been waiting for some sort of continuation or some sort of anthology into the story of Black Panther. And so Eyes of Wakanda is definitely going to be one to look out for.
I am Marvel Jesus.
We have a long road ahead of us. Much to do.
Oh my God!
All right. So there's a lot to look forward to in 2025. There's a lot to get into, and we have Dan with us, the Knight. What's up, Dan?
Jay, what's up?
What's up, bro?
You excited for Marvel's lineup?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Generally, I am. I am with especially with Daredevil Born Again. I think
I'm
that's my
excited for
most
Daredevil
anticipated
Born
project.
Again.
Yeah,
And that new Spider-Man cartoon. I know it's getting a lot of hate. People are saying the designs aren't good. I'm excited for that and Daredevil
Yeah.
Born Again, but overall, I don't think there's a lot of stuff besides maybe Secret Wars. I can't wait for that.
yeah. Secret War. Both the Avengers movies are gonna take a minute to set up, and so I feel like we're going into the first portion of that. But at the same
Yeah.
time, I think my only concern is that Marvel's had this thing about stretching themselves thin across the mediums. It was a lot easier, of course, back when it was phase 1 through 3, back when we were in the Infinity Saga, and it was just them focusing on the movies. But now they're doing TV shows, they're doing animated shows, and some of those animated shows don't even have anything to do with the mainline continuity. They're just what ifs or zombies, which is great too. But you have at some point people start asking, okay, where does this fit into the Marvel continuity? Like Daredevil Born Again. I don't know if Daredevil Born Again is in the continuity of the MCU. I don't think it is. I think it's just a continuation of of the Netflix show, if I'm not mistaken. That
Well,
was
speaking of the Netflix shows, those shows, and there are other shows besides the Netflix shows, those live action shows, they were tied into phases 1 through 3. And so were those other shows that were Netflix shows, those pre Disney Plus MCU shows. The difference was you didn't need to watch those shows to be caught up with the movies, so they weren't as important. They were secondary.
right.
Nowadays, with the Disney Plus shows, you need to watch the Disney Plus shows to understand the movies, so that's kind of confusing for people.
Yeah, it's still I still don't see that problem going away for the general audience because nothing's been uh nothing's been streamlined. So I'm
Yeah,
not sure exactly what they plan to, or maybe they do. Maybe they do have something in place for that because now they're bringing out characters like Wonder Man. You know what I'm saying? I'm like,
yeah,
bro, we have no like to people who don't read comics. I've heard of Wonder Man, but I haven't read his comics because he's just not that important of a character. He never really, I mean, compared to who else is on the slate? You're talking about Spider Man, Daredevil, Punisher.
yeah.
You're talking about small cookies compared to the big guys. So that it's just gonna be one of those wait and see things, and maybe he might blow up. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it might be a great show, but we're gonna see what they do with it. I'm gonna be hyped about Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man because X-Men '97 was great. What If is great, and so Marvel Animation really hasn't missed since they started. Eyes of Wakanda looks great. I have all the faith in the world in the Marvel Animation team. They haven't missed since they
You like What If?
since they
I
set
loved
foot
What
into it.
If.
What If is great, and
Yeah,
there. I heard last I checked there was even a petition for a What If series for Star Wars. And I'm like, dude, if they do a What If series for Star Wars, you know what that would solve? You know what I'm
dude, that
saying?
would solve so much.
That would solve so much. Like that
Oh,
would be great.
Did you know originally with the What If show, they wanted to introduce Luke Skywalker in What If, but Disney Lucasfilm said no, and I'm like, are you kidding me? That would have been amazing.
They don't be knowing what
Luke,
they be doing.
a Star Wars Marvel crossover. People have been wanting that
Yeah.
for a long time.
Why not?
Yeah,
Why not?
at
What do
this
you
point,
what do you have to lose?
yeah, exactly.
The
Disney
IP.
Lucas, yeah,
The
Disney
IP
Star
is
Wars is already low.
exactly. It's already dying and it's gonna continue to die for the next 2 years. So what do you have to lose? What does Disney Star Wars have to lose? Nothing.
Nothing.
Not a thing.
Mm-mm.
Not a thing. But yeah. Man, I think this slate is solid. Um it's gonna be a while before we see anything concerning the movies because you know, with the transition they're doing, there's so much that you have to set in place, especially when you're talking about the mutants. Deadpool and Wolverine opened up that door. People want a Gambit movie. You know, we need another one of those meeting. Well, we had that meeting with Avengers with Avengers at Comic Con about the direction of where we're headed. We still got Fantastic Four coming up. All those different projects that are leading up to an Infinity War, Avengers, the next two Avengers movies. So
Yeah.
there's still a lot to be ironed out, and I feel like they'll probably reveal more uh as we roll into 2025. But for now, I mean, I'm cool with this. I'm fine with it. I think it's going to keep the fans entertained. I think it's going to elevate Marvel a bit more. Hopefully, the stories are good and they're not crappy. I know Daredevil and Daredevil Born Again is already going to be Disney Plus's probably its most highly rated show, and then it's also going to be the most watched show on the platform. I'm calling it now.
Dude, that's good. You're right. You're right on the money with that.
Yeah, all those Netflix subscribers that subscribe just for Daredevil and Punisher and all the Marvel shows coming straight to Disney Plus. Not no brainer.
Yeah.
No brainer. But yeah, I think it's gonna be solid. Um, another thing is that I think I think that we're not as impatient with Marvel, not as much as we are DC, because Marvel fans have been eating so good for the past 10 plus years. They're used to it. Marvel fans are used to this. They're just like, "Yep, another slate announced." We got, and that's just a few shows. That's not even what's coming with the movies. You know, like they're just eating so good. Meanwhile, I can see the rib cages on DC fans. You know what I'm saying? Minus the Penguin. Minus Penguin. I take that back. Penguin.
Penguin's been good. Yeah,
Penguin is the Batman Reeves is feeding a lot of DC fans right now.
it is.
It's feeding so many people right now because it's just that good. It's just that it's got people more than excited for the Batman Part 2.
Yeah.
So I could definitely see that. And yeah. So I'm excited, man. I can't wait. I'm excited. Now James Gunn needs to go ahead and drop a trailer for Superman. That's what we need. Because now we're about to start this whole cycle over again that started 15 years ago. We're about to start this whole cycle again of Marvel and DC.
Yeah.
So everybody needs to get buckled in for what's about to happen. I will be here straight up and ready for the trailer reaction and everything. I think we get it this November, if I'm not mistaken. I think so.
It's been said for a while. What people would really enjoy is a DC Marvel crossover. That would be awesome.
Yeah, but yeah, that's true. I would enjoy that too.
Yeah.
Let's see. He's working on a CCXP release. Man, we just need that trailer. We need it bad. But I believe in taking your time. I got the utmost faith that James Gunn is gonna make do with what he has to work with. So I think it's gonna be good. But in our final 5 minutes, because I wasn't gonna be on here that long. Um, Dan, what are we going to do about what are we gonna do about bloody Star Wars?
I don't think there's anything to do. I mean,
Like I feel like I'm at a dead end with Star Wars. Like there's like absolutely nothing. No matter how bad I want Disney Star Wars to be great, there's nothing that I can do.
if I were to be optimistic, man, I'd say maybe you could hold out hope for Skeleton Crew.
I just looked it up and that's what's trending right now. It's like the Skeleton Crew, it needs to deliver it, all these,
Yeah.
I which I hope it does. I mean, I really do hope it does, but so many of the stories have gotten away from what Star Wars really is. It's just like how do you rope it back in? And I don't necessarily think that you can at this point. I think it's already too late. We have the 20 Phantom Menace 25th anniversary just happened. Next year is Revenge of the Sith's 20-year anniversary. So that is definitely going to be something I look forward to celebrating again.
Does anyone ever talk about Attack of the Clones anniversary?
Yeah, Attack of the Clones just had its anniversary last year.
Oh,
I
last
think
year,
it.
yeah.
I think it was its 20th anniversary. Let me see, if I'm not mistaken. I think it just had its 20. Yeah, it was its 20-year anniversary just in
Yeah.
2022. So yeah. Every you always have to celebrate the most underrated Star Wars film in the saga.
I still have a hard time believing there are fans out there that think that the sequels are better. Like there's rank lists for the 9 films,
Oh
and a
yeah,
lot of people put episode 2 on the as the lowest, and I'm like,
yeah.
you cannot tell me Episode
Yeah.
2 is worse than the sequels. I don't believe that.
They can't because it's only all the criticisms they have are superficial. You know, if you wanted to say a few acting scenes were a little cheesy, sure, but it doesn't outpace the fact that Attack of the Clones had a straightforward story, a beginning, middle, end, and it introduced us to one of the greatest eras in Star Wars history.
It
So
did. Yeah.
when one of the when one of the sequel movies does that, then they'll have the right to have that conversation, but it's never gonna happen. So, and it's not recency bias or anything because I grew up on it. It's just facts. What
Yeah.
you see, what Attack of the Clones has contributed, what Phantom Menace has contributed, what Revenge of the Sith did for Star Wars pop culture. Period. Come on,
Yeah.
come on, man. No way the sequels can even stand it. Yeah, the sequels have great visuals. The sequels have beautiful trailers, most of which still make me cry to this day. They're just that beautiful. They make me so emotional. They make me cry. But
They make you cry.
bro, I told you I have to go back and watch the sequel trilogy trailers just to remember how excited I used to be for Star Wars.
Maybe I should watch those trailers.
Bro, they're beautiful. They're epic. But the but you cry not only because the trailers are beautiful, you cry because you know as soon as the trailer's over, you're going to be reminded about what the movie actually is, what the movies actually are,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
then like I found myself laughing. I was crying and laughing about it at the same time. I'm like, Disney, you like, come on, man, it's crazy. It's crazy what Star Wars fans are having to do just to achieve happiness with the story that they once loved. Now, you know, like I told you on your live just on the space a few hour or so ago, fans are having to make their own stories. Fans are making their own stories. Their own Star Wars theory has come out with his own lightsabers. There's a whole bunch of people with their own lightsaber companies. People are making fan fictions and their own short films and stuff. All these things just to supplement because Disney cannot deliver what the fans want. Disney cannot deliver, you know, the substance that people crave with Star Wars. The High Republic sure as heck isn't cutting it for anybody.
Exactly, yeah.
You know, they can say what they want about Andor. I think Andor was well crafted for season one, but that story again, it's one of those things like the MCU's doing now, just making unnecessary stories that like, bro, cat. I don't know. I just didn't find it a necessary story. Ray
Star Wars Visions, similar to What If, has
Yeah,
some pretty good entries.
Visions was good. I
Yeah.
enjoyed Visions. I enjoy Visions. That was actually pretty darn good.
One of the episodes of Visions takes place 1,000 years after episode 9.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Speaking of after episode 9, we need someone to pick up the pen for the new Ray movie. That's what we do need. I ain't gonna lie to you. That's what we need.
They're better off just canceling that movie now.
Bro, if they cancel this movie, understand the implications of this. If they cancel this movie, if they cancel the Ray movie and it doesn't come to fruition, then it just makes Star Wars a dead end franchise because that's the only other place you can go after what you did with episode 9, 8 and 9. So it would make Star Wars a dead end franchise. Like there's nowhere else you can go forward in the major canon if you cancel it now.
Look,
Cuz
Jay, Star Wars is already a dead end franchise. I mean, and look, it hurts to even say that, but it's like,
yeah.
are they going to hire 10 more writers who will probably write something that Kathleen Kennedy and staff doesn't agree with, only to get fired? It's like, how many
Yeah.
writers? 3? They fired 3 writers,
Two,
and
two or three.
yeah,
I
it's
mean,
like,
unless you want to reboot. If you
no,
want to reboot 7 through 9, that's always the option.
that's what should happen. But it's like, look, even let's say, even if I want the Ray movie to come out, want it to get made, Like, how are we going to do it? Are we like this? They've already fired 3 writers. This process of them prolonging the production of this film based on what they can't come to a final decision on the story they want to tell, and they don't agree with the staff they hired. So it's like, how are they going to get it made? Is Kathleen Kennedy going to write it herself? Because
Right.
at this point, it's like,
Yeah.
Kathleen, if you don't agree with the direction of the writers you're hiring with this movie, you're best off writing it on your own. Like,
Yeah.
it's
Because
yeah.
yeah. And what's the direction? What are we, I know Rey's doing her new Jedi Order, but you, like I said, like, and you've said this too before, who you hire for these projects matters. Do they love Star Wars? Do they have a heart for Star Wars? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Are they selfish? You know, or do they care about what the fans and the audiences want to see and about the legacy of Star Wars, or are they in it because they think they want to tell their version of what they think Star Wars is? Ryan Johnson. But what is it for real? You know what I'm saying? And then they hire Charmin Obaid Chinoy. I don't know her personally. I do know she's an activist. She's an activist filmmaker, all that good jazz. But what does that have to do with Star Wars outside of her just being a female director? What are we doing? What are we doing? So now there's no telling what her vision is that she's trying to do. There's no telling what's going on with the script and what they've written. It might be garbage. There's no telling. And now you got Daisy Ridley out here, just having to put out hey, I'm still excited for what's to come. I can't wait to share it with the fans. Bro, if they really care, and I want them to take their time. I don't want them to rush. But if they really do make something special with this Ray movie, they could open up the door for another trilogy that might have fans back in theaters. But I don't see that happening because of the incompetence of Disney to make a good Star Wars trilogy. Uh, who's hot? Like, can I talk to the casting people? Can I talk to some? What are we doing here? And I know I'll probably get a whole bunch of responses like, "Oh, it's not that easy to make a movie." I get that. It's not, but it's not that hard to put together a true vision of what the fans want. And so far the fans have been more correct than the actual people running Star Wars for the track record, you know?
It's not about what the fans want. That's
Ain't
not what
about it.
they're thinking. They're thinking about making the same garbage they've been making, before, and it's like that's not going to
Exactly.
satisfy the fan base.
Exactly. I had a guy tell me today. I had a guy tell me on our Joker video that I posted on TikTok about following through. Somebody told me the movie wasn't supposed to generate a profit nor be a satisfying sequel for the audience. I'm like, well, what are we doing here? What was Empire Strikes Back supposed to be? You see what I'm saying? Like, what was Terminator 2 supposed to be? The Two Towers. Any sequel that you want to name, whatever trilogy you want to name. When you make this stuff, you have to keep the fans in mind because the
Yeah.
fans are the one paying their hard-earned money, getting off work, excited for the weekend, excited to go see, waking up to go to midnight premieres, 12 o'clock in the morning, 1 o'clock in the morning, lining up outside of theaters to support you and what you made. And you're telling me that you don't care about what the fans think?
I mean, I get what he's saying. Like, Joker 2 was more Todd Phillips' artistic vision than a satisfying sequel.
Yeah.
But Todd Phillips didn't even want to make a sequel. So it's like,
If he didn't want to, he shouldn't have. He shouldn't have.
yeah, it's like Warner Brothers gave him money. He went with it and he made what he made. But it's like, honestly, maybe Todd Phillips was just going to be better as a co-writer, and maybe they should have gotten someone else to continue the story. Maybe.
It shouldn't have been a musical. We can say that much for sure.
Man, people are not going to get over the musical aspects of that movie.
And it wasn't even bad. It was actually good as a musical, But as a sequel that serves to what the first movie established, it doesn't work. It just doesn't work at all, and it ends up pissing you off and leaving you with more questions more than answers. It just my wife literally got up and walked away like she couldn't even watch it. She didn't even want to watch it.
Dang,
She was
your
that
wife.
mad. Yeah,
Wow.
and she enjoyed the first one. She actually thought the first one was pretty good. So that and Evan, I know you probably already seen the videos of what Evan had to say. So Evan already knew he couldn't wait to rip it up, and rightfully so. It deserved to be ripped apart.
Evan did not like that at all.
No, he was offended.
He thought it was Last Jedi bad, which I disagree. I don't think it's Last Jedi bad.
It's not Last Jedi bad, but it's definitely not the the Last Jedi of DC movies. That I can tell you for sure.
I don't know whether it's my knowledge of comics and show and lore and stuff, or it's the fact that I've seen worse movies that for some reason Joker 2 might get a pass in my brain. I don't know what it is, but Joker 2 to me is not as bad as what I've seen in the past, and I guess for that reason I may not hate it as much. I think I have something in common with Ethan Van Sciver, with Quentin Tarantino, who's a director. Ethan Van Sciver is like a comic writer for DC, or he used to
Mm,
be,
mm,
comic illustrator. Quentin
mm-hmm.
Tarantino is a popular filmmaker. Like they agree with me. They like the movie too. It's like so. It's like I don't. Maybe it's the artistic vision. Maybe it's the aspects of Joker, the character writing, something about it. But we saw something in the movie that a lot of people didn't.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's true.
I'm not saying my opinion is objective. I'm just saying, while I enjoyed the film up until the ending, I could
Yeah,
see why for a lot of people this was a letdown.
yeah. I'm reading Death in the Family right now, the new 52 Death in the Family. Reading that version of Joker, I can definitely understand too why people have been very very disappointed. So,
Oh, Death in the Family was fantastic.
bro, it's grim. It's so grim.
Yeah.
It's grim. But we are now 40 minutes at the hour. Didn't want to stay on here for too long. Just wanted to get in here and chop it up with everyone about what Marvel was doing for 2025 and a little bit more. But we will definitely be back with our daily episode of After Hours this weekend, this Friday and Saturday. So I look forward to seeing you guys there as well. Um, but
Awesome.
yes, sir. Appreciate you for being on. Thanks for coming on for a little bit. Thanks
Hey,
for
no
talking
problem, Eric.
to me. And we cannot wait to see you guys for the next episode. Don't forget to like and subscribe to J House. Follow us on our YouTube channel. Follow me on Twitch as well, and on X, especially X, because that's where most of you guys are watching from. So nothing but love to you guys. So we appreciate you guys for being on, and we'll catch you guys this weekend.
All
Peace.
right. Peace.